Think about this for a moment. Chuck Yakobi, Basic Instructions. You know, back when I was a college freshman football player at Purdue, looking for a competitive advantage as an athlete, I first found this book in my search for the answer to make my pro football ambitions a reality. And the title of this book was The Secret to Creating Your Future by Dr. Tad James. And the book was about integrative psychology and how each of us as humans actually are the creator of our individual experience, mentally and emotionally. And what he spoke about that really drew me in and made me really want to go deeper into learning more about how my human mind works to create my success. What he was explaining is that, think about this, the whole world we believe is out there is actually in our mind. And I found this to be fascinating when I first heard it at age 18 back at Purdue. What we see outside of ourselves is actually inside. Think about it. Our entire reality, our memories, and your present experience in this moment, it's all just a collection of data gathered by our central nervous system at that time through our five senses. The five senses are simply a function of the nerves that are running throughout our physical body, all connecting up to our operating system, our human brain. And the way we make sense of our world is by taking that data about the outside world through our senses, what we see on TV or read off the page or screen, what we hear people say to us through our ears, and what we feel inside, the kinesthetic function or gut feeling. Then we take all of that data and we interpret it in our brain, our human mind. Our life is simply an interpretation, and this blew me away. That's how you're creating your reality even in this moment, that picture in your mind of you watching this video right now and hearing me speak to you. The more I thought about this, the more straightforward and simple this concept seemed. It became more and more clear to me. The only way we as human beings have to make sense of what's going on in the world outside of us is through the function of our five senses. What we smell and what we taste, yes, but since we're not dogs, more significantly through what we hear, what we see, and what we feel. Basic Instructions and Mindset Mastery is all about learning to control your interpretations of your world. How we label our life experience, how it looks, sounds, and feels to us, positive or negative. And what Dr. James taught me back then is how this all works, that my entire world is all in my mind, simply a collection of interpretations and beliefs about what is true and possible for me. So thinking about becoming better as a football player, I remember thinking about how I could possibly apply these principles to gain a greater sense of control over my mindset and find out what my potential really is, how good I can really be. I remember thinking to myself, if my whole world is in my mind, and with learning these basic instructions, mindset principles, I can learn to control what's in my mind, well, then it only makes sense that I can learn to control my entire world. And as you can see, Basic Instructions, Mindset Mastery helped me get some pretty high-level results as a professional. And this is what inspired me to share with all of you how much control over your personal reality, your happiness, your success that you actually do have. How easy it can be to create the positive changes in your life that you deeply desire. My experience of applying these integrative psychology mindset techniques to become an 8-year NFL veteran and a Super Bowl world champion is the inspiration behind why I started this business and how I serve companies and coach individuals through Basic Instructions. Learning Basic Instructions is like learning what we learned from Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. You remember, she had the shoes the whole time, am I right? And you recognize now that it wasn't until someone gave her the basic instructions of how to access the power she already had inside. All of a sudden now, she realizes how easy it can be to achieve your specific desired results for yourself. As easy as clicking 3 times. I felt compelled to share my experience of how I was first introduced to these simple concepts of how my mind works and the impact that this had on my life professionally and personally. I imagine that if you're watching the video all the way to this point, you can relate to that deep feeling of wanting to improve your life and results, maybe in your career, your health, your family, or relationships. Back then, when I was looking for a different way to approach my goals, something I hadn't tried before, exploring integrative psychology and learning about my mind was something new. It was simply something that I didn't know that I didn't know. Opening up my mind to learn a better way to achieve my ambitions brought me Super Bowl level success in my personal and professional life. And that's why I have such a deep passion for telling my story and sharing this experience with the world. It's all I want to do nowadays. help others learn to take control of their minds and attain the specific success and a life experience that truly looks, sounds, and feels exactly the way they want it to. Thanks for tuning in. Say hi in the comments or ask any questions you have about mindset mastery and basic instructions. And stay tuned for more insight into basic instructions and how it just might be the secret to creating your future. Success is simple if you know the basic instructions.com.